the Your Money Hour podcast. I am your host, Dakota Grady. Welcome to the show, everybody. Whether you're in South Carolina, Tennessee, Georgia, wherever you are, thank you for joining us tonight. And I have a guest as always. Occasionally, I may have a podcast interview on my own, but mostly I have guests. But before we get started, if you need help with personal finances and you're struggling, you're worried about how you're going to pay for your bills or how you're going to eat, contact me at dakotagrady.com. Resources that can help you with your personal finances so that you can have peace of mind and stop worrying and not be broke. Oh, and by the way, if you are an entrepreneur or you're on a med spa or you are a entrepreneur and you're an NP, nurse practitioner, and you need help with accounting and taxes, I'm your guy as well. Contact me today at dakotagrady.com. So my guest tonight is Ms. Demetria Davenport. She is the massage doctor from Detroit, Michigan area. And I met Ms. Davenport 2 weekends ago. We connected and I wanted to have her on the show tonight. So I wanted to say thank you for joining me, Ms. Demetria. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Dakota. It was a pleasure connecting with you. And thank you for allowing me to be on your platform today. I appreciate that.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for your time. And tell everybody about who you are and what you do, Demetria.
Okay, my name is Demetria Davenport, better known as the massage doctor. I am owner of the award-winning spa, Luxurious Essentials, located in Southfield, Michigan. As a result of what I do, I help individuals who are suffering from chronic foot pain get relief naturally and quickly through wellness and holistic treatments.
So how'd you get into that? I mean, we did an IG live recently, and that P word.
Plantar.
Plantar. So plantar fasciitis.
Plantar fasciitis.
Plantar fasciitis. All right. So talk about that, Miss Doctor Massage Doctor. Talk about that plantar fasciitis, what that is, and how'd you get into massage therapy?
Okay, I initially got into massage therapy through a coworker of mine, Miss Vivian. At that time, I was in a beauty school attaining my nail tech license. So she told me once I get done with that, get back with her. I was out of school a little over a year. She said, "You still in school?" I said, "Miss Vivian, I've been done with school over a year." She said, "Girl, I told you, you need to be doing massages." She said she thought I would be good doing massages. So she introduced me to an RN who got into holistic nursing, and she was a massage therapist. Now, the state of Michigan back in the day, you didn't need a certificate nor any schooling or a license to do massage therapy. But then as it started to become real popular, they made it where you had to have some schooling, then have a certificate, and then the state was trying to figure out how to grandfather everybody in who had been doing massages, because prior to schooling, all you had to do was go down to the health department back in the day and get a card for the older real seasoned massage therapists here in Michigan. So you just went and got a health card here in Detroit. And so went to her home. I went for 4 weeks. I went on a Saturday for 4 weeks in a row, and I went for about 2 to 3 hours. And she just taught us about massage. She also introduced us to essential oils. I love bergamot because of her, because when you was coming up her driveway, you could just you smelled all that goodness. And then when you walked in the door, the first thing that hit you was that bergamot essential oil. So she talks about essential oils as well and what they were used for and how you can mix them with carrier oils and things like that and the benefits of massage oil. So that's how I got introduced to massage therapy through my coworker.
All right. So the word plantar fasciitis.
Fasciitis.
Fasciitis. Yes. Talk about
It's
that,
the
please.
fasciitis part that people can't get. The plantar.
Right.
It's the fasciitis.
Plantar fasciitis. All right. So talk about that. Like what is it first? How do people get it? And how do you cure it?
Okay. Well, plantar fasciitis, I'm going to use my hand, for example, as the bottom of my foot. So your plantar fasciitis tendon is in the palm of your foot, but it is here, but then your Achilles tendon comes around your heel and attaches to your plantar fasciitis, and then from there, your plantar fasciitis goes in between your toes. So when it's damaged or torn, you get tears in your plantar fasciitis as well. It's very painful. Along with that, I call them the twins. They go together. They're married. When you have plantar fasciitis, you automatically get a heel spur. You get heel spur on the outside of your foot, which is lateral or medial, lateral here, or medial on the inside of your foot. So on one of these sides, you'll get a heel spur here or right here. That's because the Achilles tendon is so tight, it's pulling on the plantar fascia tendon. And then you get those heel spurs right there. And then you also get that tightness in your foot and also in your calf muscles too. So all that goes together. So when those tendons start getting tight, it starts pulling. It makes everything tight. And it's very discomforting. You can develop plantar fasciitis if you're a jogger, if you're a runner. Also, if you're a person who has a career that requires you to stand on your feet for long periods of time, such as nurses, doctors, auto workers. I don't care if you're changing tires. Also hairdressers and barbers as well. Yeah.
So do you serve that population? Are those populations with doctors, nurses, like barbers, salons, beauticians? Do you serve them, or who do you specialize in or serve?
Yes, I serve them because they are my target market, and those are the individuals who are suffering from that pain relief. Now, most people, when they're experiencing plantar fasciitis, normally they go see a podiatrist. That's when the pain is really getting bad or whatever. So you'll go see the podiatrist. He'll assess your feet, take x-rays and examine your feet, and then they'll give you cortisone shots. Also, they'll prescribe you medication. You can be on a cam walker. That's that boot thing that you'll see people in sometimes, which everybody has them now. And then they'll cast you as well too. That's to keep the pressure off your foot, so your foot can heal itself.
So your body should heal itself opposed to having surgery, right? If it gets too bad, surgery is the last resort.
Yep. So if surgery is your last result, if you don't have a doctor, if you have a good doctor, if he's not a doctor that's cut happy, you just want to cut and charge your insurance, your doctor, he's going to do what he can to help you to alleviate the pain. He wants the surgery to be the last resort, because when you get surgery, they sedate you. You're laying face down on the table in the operating room, and then what they do, I'm gonna use my back of my arm for example. So say this is the back of your leg and this is your foot. So you have your Achilles tendon right here. Okay, because your Achilles tendon starts like halfway in the middle of your calf, and then it thins out here, and then it attaches at your heel, and then connects to your plantar fascia. So what they do, they take the scalpel, they cut it, and they pull it apart. And then they go in and they take a little hammer and a chisel, and they knock it off. And then they sew you back up, and then they cast you as well. A lot of people who get that surgery, their foot is never the same. They don't have any plantar or dorsiflexion of their foot, making their foot go up and down. And then the heel spurs, most people heel spurs come back.
At what point should somebody come see you, the massage doctor, when they have foot pain?
So when someone comes to me, they call me or they'll DM me, and I have them come in for appointment, so I can do my assessment on them, and then we go from there. And I map out a plan for them, how many treatments they're going to need, and what the treatment is going to be that I'm going to do with them. It depends on how severe their pain is, because it can be I don't want to say fixed. It can be treated without medication or having surgery. But with most things, if you're going to PT or you're going to the doctor, or someone like myself, a therapist that specializes in when has a specialty in something, if I'm asking you not to do something, your practitioner is asking you not to do something, to help them, they're giving you some preventative things to do at home to help them in between coming to your treatments. We know when you're not doing that. So you have to help your practitioner help you so we can help you guys get better.
So, what's the average amount of time someone stayed with you as a client if they are injured with the plantar fasciitis, and then they like, what's the process for them to work with you? Like, how long do they take to heal?
Okay, so if they're have, let's say, mild symptoms, it can be anywhere from maybe 4 to 6 treatments. Then if it's more severe where your foot is on fire, then that's a longer treatment plan.
Mm-hmm.
That goes anywhere from, that can be up to 12 sessions to 24 sessions, but it depends on how bad your pain is. You know, and then like I said too, some things that you have to do, exercises too, to help me help you. Because
Yes.
it can be very, very painful, especially when you take those first steps in the morning out of bed. Most people, when their feet hit the floor, they're walking on the ball of their foot, and as they warm that foot up, it comes down because that tend to be so tight. You can't walk on it, and it be on fire.
So you you experienced it before. You said about it in IG Live. Talk about your experience with it and how you overcame plantar fasciitis.
It was horrible the way I came upon plantar fasciitis. I was working at Chrysler. I had just finished repairing a car, and when I stepped down off the step box, my foot hit the floor. And I'm like, oh, that don't feel right. And then it just started progressing. I went to the podiatrist. I went and got some a few cortisone shots. That wasn't working. I said, I'm not doing that. And then it just started, because you just keep working. If you keep working through it, because you're pushing through it, then sometimes you get the cortisone shots, you feel good, you like, my foot back to normal. So you don't know that you're doing damage to it because you have something that's masking the pain, is masking those nerves. So when that medication wears off, then your foot is like, ha ha ha, I'm back, but it's back with a vengeance. So it's very painful. It feels like you're walking on a pebble or some little small rocks in your foot, especially on your heel. So you might think it's something in your shoe. You might say, it's not in my shoe. It may be something in your sock. No, it's in your foot. And so it's those heel spurs are impinging on nerves as well too. So it's very irritating. It hurts. It's very discomforting. I was in a cast. I was in a cam worker. I was going back from a cast to a cam worker, back and forth. Also, your plantar fascia tears too, because every time I would take a step, I would feel a plucking feeling in the bottom of my foot. You know, when you was a kid and the mailman dropped a rubber band, them thick ones, you pluck it. That's what it felt like. So when I went to my podiatrist, he was telling me, he said, your plantar fascia tendon is tearing. That's why you feel that plucking feeling. It was tearing. So what they do, like I said, they give you the medications. They give you the medication. The medication is doing nothing but masking the pain. It's masking it. The doctor is treating it. He's just treating the symptoms. He's not trying to find the cause of the symptoms. And that's where I come in. I'm finding the cause of the symptom. I'm not just treating. I'm finding the cause of the symptoms so I can help you to better foot health.
What are some of the issues that you feel that your clients come in with that causes them to have that particular issue?
Like I said again, working on one, working on hard surface floors. Two, not wearing compression socks, because graduated compression socks is going to give you that compression on your legs, help stimulate blood flow, and also give you that support not just on your leg but your ankle and your foot as well. Also, not wearing proper shoes, not wearing shoes with a good thick insole in there with a good thick arch support. And because if you get a shoe that's not properly fit and don't have enough cushion, that causes, it doesn't give you that arch support. So that's not good foot health neither. So like I said, wearing the compression socks, wearing proper shoes that's thick, have a good arch support, good thick arch support with the heel, and then also doing doing foot exercises as well to help with your foot, because a lot of people don't know you have very little muscles in your feet. You have a lot of tendon and ligaments, and those ligaments and tendons, they get stuck. So sometimes you wonder, like, why I can't spread my toes apart, or why can't I do pronation. You can't move it back and forth, things like that, because those things are stuck. Those things are stuck, so they get stuck because they're not being exercised. So they get stuck. And then two, a lot of people don't know, our lower limbs don't get a lot of blood flow, especially as we get older. And that's why it's important too, when doctors tell their diabetic patients, make sure you have some shoes on your feet, because you're not getting enough blood flow there. And that's why they have nerve pain such as a neuropathy, because they're not getting enough blood flow to the lower extremity. So you get those things that happen.
Interesting. So when we met, we talking about something you were very, very, very passionate about. I think you were talking about how people in your area don't really want to collaborate. Is that fair? I think you were talking about that. You were saying about
Yes.
it's
Yep.
very, like, I guess maybe cutthroat is the word. Talk about that in business. Do you feel like in our community we feel like we can't collaborate because we're trying to pull each other down, so they're building each other up, work together?
I think people are not that friendly if you're not part of their special group, or their homeboy, homegirl, whatever, or the clique, or whatever you want to call it, or part of their community. People try to keep things to themselves. And like I was expressing to you, I've been coming down to Atlanta because Candace Holyfield, the Six Figure Spy chick, AP's wife, she is my mentor, and I've learned so much underneath her mentorship, her mentoring me. And then also with business credit. Before I joined the Small Boss Tribe, I didn't have any business credit. I had out of all the years I had been in business, I didn't have any business credit. Being underneath her guidance, within, I want to say 30 days, I was getting business credit just like that. But she shared that knowledge, and that's what I like about the community and about the brothers and sisters down there in Atlanta. The way they move, they want to help everybody, and they give away just like at the conference, when Runway and Marquel and all of them that came there, Nikki, Jose, all of them, when they all came, they gave gems. They gave gems, you know what I'm saying? And they weren't stingy with it. They want to see everybody win. And that's what I like when I go down to Atlanta. They want to see each other win. They move differently. And I was just looking like, oh my goodness. I'm like, they are down in Atlanta killing it. So they want to see everybody win. You know what I'm saying? Like when Dontel, he had all those heavy hitters come and speak to us. They could have said no. And then two, when you met them in the hallway, they were still speaking to you. They wasn't like, don't speak to me, you peasant. You know what I'm saying? They were just really genuine people. Because you get some people that be big influencers and they be so high on their mountaintop, it's like, you're beneath them. But everybody was really real. Everybody was just sweet, and they was just being their authentic selves, and they gave a lot of information. Yeah, and they was very helpful. Yeah, they was very helpful on the information that they gave us. Because I what Jose said, he said when he told all of us, he said, if you're not sharing your gift and talent, letting the world know what you do, and you just keep it to yourself, okay, you're responsible for somebody's life. They dying. So I make sure that I do my videos. Like the weekend, I had some stuff going on, but I didn't post any videos. But I did Monday, I made a batch of videos. So I have some, and boom. So I know tomorrow I have to do another batch of videos for my next 3 to 4 days or whatever. So, and I think about that. I'm staying accountable. How can I put it? I'm keeping myself accountable, even though they're not here looking at me and seeing, did she just get that, come to the conference, to the impactful boot camp, and she got all those notes up in there, but she's not doing nothing. She's not implementing what we all have told everybody, whatever. So I'm making sure I'm holding myself accountable, even though they're not looking. It's like when you do a job, if you're my boss and you tell me, Demetria, I need you to finish up these tax forms for me or whatever. Okay, no, I'm gonna do what you asked me to do. Because if I do something behind your back, I'm whatever I can do behind your face, I'm gonna do behind your back. But I don't mean that in a bad way. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna make sure if you're leaving your business in my hands to do something, I want you to know that you can trust me, that Demetria, I know she gonna get this done. They like, well, she was over there, she took an extra break. Okay, but she did what I asked her to do, and I'll go above and beyond. You might say, oh, we'll do this. But you was like, well, girl, we had you wash the kids, but we were expecting you to wash the dish. I'm like, well, they were like, well, you had some dishes in the dish rack. I was like, well, why not make it easier for her when she come home? Put the dishes up and, hey, see y'all tomorrow. Or y'all need a babysitter, call me again. So I'm one of those people, I over deliver. And I just something that's been in me, and my mother always just tell me, if you're gonna do something, do it right. Because if you go back and you gotta redo it, look at all the time you're in the way. So if you would have did it right the first time, now you gotta do this. So now you can't go outside. You gotta do this. You can't watch Happy Days because you ain't here watching these dishes. We could just want to watch this after you ate, or don't have Till do the dishes. Come on here, girl. That's old school. But
That's
yeah,
real right there. That's real.
so yeah, but it was very like I said, I love Atlanta. I love it. I love everybody down there. Like I said, they have such a good community, and they all want to see each other win. They all want to see each other win. And then two, like when you and I were talking, I was just surprised that when Dontel told us that 97% of the people who attended the Impactful Boot Camp was not from Atlanta. I think it was maybe 2 people, maybe 3 that was from Atlanta, but the rest of the room was everybody who traveled to get there. And I was telling you, I'm like, that's just mind blowing to me that they have all that goodness at their fingertips that they're not even using it. Even not just at Dontel's event, but even being with Candace. Just being with Candace and things that she has asked us to implement and do or whatever. You know what I'm saying? She wants you to make that bag too. But I'm doing all the stuff that I did not have in place prior to being under her mentorship. I didn't have a trademark. We're not taught about trademarking. We just taught you open a business, get an LLC, get an EIN number, and there you go. You just take off running or whatever. Nobody is telling us how to do bookkeeping. I'm guilty of it. I'm guilty of it. I'm guilty of it. Everybody have telling when you are Twitter, nobody is telling us how to do bookkeeping. You know what I'm saying? And so those things that we need to do, because now I've noticed, just with like I said, with Candace, she tell us stuff. Banks want to see, they're asking us. They asking us. We want to see some bank statements. We want to see the last 3 months of bank statements or whatever. Somebody else can walk in there and they asking them nothing. You're like, oh, okay, blah, 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 just get your information or whatever. But they're asking us for this information, and a lot of people can't produce it. So it's teaching us to, for me, it's teaching us to grow up in business, because our other counterpart partners are passing us by. That's why they can go in the bank and go get a loan and get a line of credit and brand new to business, because they have certain things in place, and we're not taught that. Like I said, we just taught get an EIN number, get an LLC, open up your business, and there it is. They're not telling you anything about when you open up a business, whether it be in a suite or in a freestanding building, you need to have a certificate of occupancy. You need to have a business license, because if those people, I don't care if you're a liquor store, but liquor store, they're gonna make sure you have it. But if you don't have those certain articles of paper that can cause your business to close down if the people decide, that city decides to come in and I'm gonna call it an audit of your business, see if you have the proper credentials to run your business. That can shut your whole business down. And people are not, we're not told that.
Right.
We're not told that. That's an important part of being a business owner as well.
Yeah, I mean, having people in place to tell you things is important. I mean, whether it be bookkeeping, some legal stuff, or maybe a trademark, whatever, it's important for business. If you don't know, find out. Like for me, I mean, I found out about different. Well, how I got in the room was basically online, searching people's pages on Instagram, and came upon a certain person and started following the trail, and was like, oh, next thing I don't know, I'm in a room in Atlanta. So
Yep.
put
Yep.
yourself in places where you can grow, as opposed to just being stagnant. Because I'm from South Carolina, and I mean, it seems like it's the same way here. I mean, people I feel like they're cliquish, and I'm like, well, I want to go with people where people are open minded and want everybody to grow because there's enough money for all of us to win. Like I said in the
Yep.
presentation.
Yep. It is. So, like I said, like Candace say, you gotta get in the room because you never know who you gonna meet. Cause she showed up, asked me the last day. She said, Demetria, so what you got going on? And I told her, I said, well, hey, I said, I met Dakota and I'm gonna be on this podcast and blah, blah, blah. Things like you think, you never know you're gonna meet, get in the room or whatever. So I said, I'm gonna be on Dakota's podcast and then get with her so I can be on her podcast as well. And like she said, you just never know who you're gonna meet, what you're gonna learn. Cause every time, I've been going down to Atlanta since June of last year. And I was going every 2 weeks, all the way up to December. So every time I went to something, except for I went November, I think I didn't go in November. But I was going too much. My husband was like, really? And I was like, oh, I'm staying home. We're going in December. He's like, okay, but every time I went to something that Candace had, I met somebody, I learned something. It may not have resulted in no coins, but it resulted in my business being more structured as a business, if that makes sense. And I always met somebody.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So before we close, thank you for your time and being on the show and being transparent. What can you leave the audience with? Whether business, life, money, you have the floor. Thank you for your time.
All right. Well, first I want to say thank you so much for having me on your beautiful podcast. I appreciate that. I thank you so much. Thank you. To leave people, you know what? Make sure you have your business in place. Surround yourself with other like-minded people. You may have to leave your town, your city, your state to find other like-minded people with you, like you. And have your business affairs in order. Business is always evolving. Your business is always evolving. And it's not, okay, I did this, I'm done. You're always going to be learning in business. It's not one and done. You're always learning something. And two, make sure you guys are getting in the right room because you never know who you're going to meet. You may meet Dakota. You may meet somebody like me. They can tell you, hey, what's going on? Hey, I've been watching the way you've been walking your gait off. What's going on with your foot? Things like that, whatever. But you never know who you're going to come in contact with. And like I said, too, your tribe may not be in your own hometown. It could be in another state, another town, another city. You know what I'm saying? You just never know where you're going to find other unicorns like you, and like me and you.
All right. So thank y'all for joining the Your Money Our podcast. Thanks for your time, Demetria.
You're welcome. Thank you so much. Love you guys. Bye.